This is the Hip Pause Podcast with your host,
David.
And Hyman. I think we actually have a thing now. Is that our thing? Is that our intro?
That is quick, it's simple. I miss the old days, but hey, I'll take it.
Well, the old days of it being just the most random thing we could come up with.
I know.
Well, you know, it works. So, who have we got this week, Dave?
We have... Shit, what's his real name? We have the channel, TotalBiscuit.
We're experts here. We're experts in this.
TotalBiscuit, otherwise known as John Bain.
Wait, John Bain?
Bain, right?
Yeah, his surname's Bain.
Is it not? It's not John?
I think it is. It is John Bain, yeah.
We'll do some research.
No, it definitely is. I don't know, I've just never heard him called John Bain. I don't know.
I think
I've heard them call him John.
Because he has to go by his real name.
It's going to be really bad if we're actually completely wrong, which I'm sure we're not.
No.
So, how many subscribers do you think that...
Oh, man, that question comes with many more questions.
Also known as the Cynical Brit as well, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He is on, 2,200,000? Something like that.
Precise?
But I feel like the reason why I know this is... He's been on that for freaking ages.
Yeah, dude. He was one of the first people, I think, on YouTube. Not one of the first, but I mean, he's been on it longer than most. Yeah. You get some like creators that have just sheerly through being around so long do really well. I'm not saying that's true of him because he makes really good content. Yeah. But you get some people that are just like Ryan Higa.
Yeah. People who are there from the start automatically should get stuff because.
Exactly.
You could watch no one
Exactly.
else.
So it's like they're ahead of everyone else because they're more experienced. They make better stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've had longer to build up.
So they'll come up first in the searches. And I do believe, because he really advertises this all over his channel, that TotalBiscuit is the #1 gaming PC reviewer, so to speak. Or
does he say that?
He says YouTube's #1 a lot. And he then adds like PC reviewer or game spec, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's really advertising. Yeah, no, that's fair enough. But 2.2 million, so I don't think it's high enough. I don't think it's high enough to say that.
See.
But hey.
But I mean...
He was on like 1.7, if I'm not mistaken, like 3 years ago.
What?
Like,
really?
Because when I subscribed to him, he was like 1.2. And this is ages ago. But, so, I don't know. I just don't... not that he's peaked, but sure not going as fast as one would expect.
I guess, but if he's gonna... He is quite niche, because it is...
That is fair.
Like, firstly, it is PC gaming.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess PC gaming is not that niche. I mean, there's a lot of PC gaming on YouTube. But then he does... The video style is quite...
That is a very good point. Okay, so we definitely need to break down his style because that affects views.
Okay, so let me get into it. So he basically makes longer form content.
Yeah.
So his videos are usually half an hour, 20 minutes minimum, but he'll make some that are just it could be an hour of him just talking.
Yeah, exactly. And that's great for grown-ups.
But then even the podcast he does is 2.5 hours long. That's longer than any other podcast I listen to.
I only know one podcast that's longer, and I think I know a few. But then, that is really long, and that's something you have to like digest. I don't know about you, but digest it throughout the week. Like I'll listen to 20 minutes today, 30 minutes tomorrow.
Exactly.
And maybe that's his intention.
But he's said this before about his videos.
He's proud of it.
People watch it in the background, they'll put it on and then play a game, do something else, whatever.
Yeah.
Which is fair, which is what you do.
So that is, I reckon, like the best way to describe TotalBiscuit is not that he breaks the YouTube rules, but he just does his own formula. So he will put up how long he wants.
The reason he does it is not just, I want to fill time. It's because he wants to give the full picture, absolute quality, go really in depth on everything. Yeah. So, I can respect that. Yeah. But here's the other thing. It makes him money. Okay.
What, longer videos? Because more...
No, I'll tell you why. So, have you ever heard of YouTube Red?
Yeah.
Okay, so YouTube Red, for anyone that doesn't know, is a subscription service for YouTube. You pay a monthly fee, and you get no ads. You get access to some like locked content.
Sure, yeah.
And also, I think on your phone you can play videos
and save it.
No, play videos in the background. So let's say if you want to listen to music on YouTube.
Yeah.
If you lock your phone, put it in your pocket,
so what,
it stops.
Is YouTube Red a different app then? If it was on your phone,
I don't think so. No.
So they have that feature, and they're keeping it for people who pay money. Good on you.
Yeah. Well, so the way that creators get paid for this is they get a percentage of YouTube Red subscribers that watch their stuff, and that percentage is based on number of minutes watched.
Exactly. Yeah. Very good point.
Okay, so there's that. So he gets paid more money the longer people are watching.
In fairness, YouTube Red is much newer than when he started this idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? He's lucky.
I remember. Also, YouTube Red is only available in the US right now.
Oh yeah, good point as well.
But I remember when they first released it. I was on one of his podcasts or something. And he was like, "I'm really happy. I'm sorted because I make my whole style is long videos."
Was his whole podcast just like the sound of cha-ching, cha-ching?
Yeah. So and the other thing is that longer videos get more than one ad break.
Yeah, I know this is really off topic, but I actually was looking at my channel and it said that it breaks down your videos, videos, and then it said YouTube Red, and apparently I have one video under YouTube Red, and that got a higher percentage in terms of revenue than the others.
Oh, yeah?
I was in complete shock.
What?
Yeah.
So
I did.
What, is it one viewer that has YouTube Red that watched it?
See, now I don't understand. Is it that the video is under, like, let's say a hashtag of YouTube Red videos, or is somebody a YouTube Red subscriber and watched it? Therefore, I get a different cut. So
it's the second one. But if someone is a YouTube Red subscriber and they watch your stuff, you get paid.
But that's weird. Why would it categorize the video? Interesting.
I don't know.
But you do definitely get a higher amount. That works out for him. But
exactly.
Either way, what do you like his views? What are we talking about?
Okay, so views, they're kind of... So bear in mind, 2.2 million subs.
Yeah.
His views are kind of 100 to 200k. Rarely breaks 200k.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, that is... I've always said if you can get 100k and you can put out maybe 3 videos a week, that is enough to have it as a sustainable channel.
But no, he puts out maybe
once every 2 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, once every 2 weeks. If you discount the podcast, which is once a week, then it's like once every 2 weeks. Because sometimes they'll go like there's like 3 podcast videos in a row.
Yeah, no.
But here's the thing. Sure, the views are low, but these videos are like... Okay, so his highest recent one is his I will now talk about loot boxes and gambling for just over 40 minutes video. Which I love the names. But it's 40-minute long video and it's got 700k views. Like, that's a 40-minute video. Nobody clicks 40-minute videos.
Yeah.
But they're up for watching, his in-depth content, commentary.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I know we haven't really given... do you have his about section open? Just to, give context on, what a 40-minute video is going to entail.
Okay, well, first of all, he says, number 1 PC gaming critic. Fair enough.
Yeah.
He says, sick of game reviews. Watch lengthy
That's me! Where do I sign?
Watch lengthy first impressions gameplay with honest and informative commentary. Get an idea about what you're getting into before you spend your money with WTF is YouTube's most popular first impressions gaming series.
Hey, you heard it here, folks.
But that's quite specific, first impressions gaming series. It's quite specific.
I think this was back in the day. Maybe he hasn't updated it. But he does definitely do a lot of first impressions of things. The industry, which I'm actually very impressed by. It's not everything is about games or playing a game, what he does differently that I like is he brings in a lot of knowledge of the industry.
Yeah, he actually tries to improve the industry, and like he's always advocating against pre-orders. Yeah. That's his main thing. I wish people would listen to him, because look at Battlefield. Oh my god. But anyway, I just, and he busts open lots of controversies, and he's just always there to kind of give.
He's a good activist in a lot of areas.
He actually works to improve the industry. Which is good, because he's got an audience, a big audience, and he's got a lot of power. Yeah,
and like I know I said like earlier that he kind of like likes to break the rules, but I feel like he likes to do things his way. So like 3 things definitely show TotalBiscuit doing it his way. It's like, 1, he's disabled comments on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, and I mean, so usually on this podcast we do a quiz.
Yeah, stay tuned for how that's gonna work out.
Yeah, but can't, because he's got no comments on his videos.
The reason, do you remember the reason? It was a while ago, but his reason was when, you know how like YouTube and a lot of websites, even Facebook, when they update the visual look or how everything works, people get annoyed by these updates. Like, I remember what Facebook used to look like to now what it looks like now, especially with YouTube. That's changed a lot. So the commenting system changed in terms of like ranking high comments, and something else about, I don't know, like basically what comes up first or how you reply and all that stuff. And he just wasn't a fan, and he likes Reddit.com, which is like another forum-ish kind of place on the internet. And he wanted YouTube to be like that or just be better. And he almost did a stand against them. He was like, I'm disabling it to raise awareness to YouTube that they should change it back or improve it. YouTube never did.
YouTube doesn't listen. That's not the way they work.
Like, even if PewDiePie, the top #1 subscribed guy, said it, they probably still would have listened.
Yeah, they would.
So here we are, like years later, still not allowing comments.
Interesting. I've heard him say different things.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he has multiple reasons, but I've heard him say basically it's because he just gets too stressed out with it. He's too depressing. He's all the critics.
But doesn't he show the likes, on stuff like that on the video? Well, I guess comments are different, but
yeah, it's the comments. He doesn't want to deal with all the negativity. Basically,
in fairness, he does attack in a lot of his reviews to games that even pay him, or should I say, give him access to do reviews on. When he's very negative towards them, obviously that can backfire, but he's just being honest.
Yeah. So there's an example. So he was involved in a bit of a controversy. Well, to be honest, he's always involved in controversy, but it's not like, Jake Paul controversy. Exactly. It's like morals and it's like do what's right kind of.
Stop going after profit.
Yeah. He's always So he did a review of a game called Day One, Gary's Incident. Which if you watch videos of this game,
I think that's his top watched video, which
probably is
about why he got demonetized or something like that. But yeah, carry on.
You're right. It is the top about why he got demonetized. But basically, the guys that made that game gave him a copy of it for free and said, "Hey, feel free to review this." He didn't sign anything. He didn't say, "I'm going to say good stuff."
Yeah, and the reason why we know this is John, or TotalBiscuit, is really good at keeping evidence. Yeah. So he illustrated everywhere and at what point, at what day did these things.
He has a law degree, in fact. So I think that's why he knows. Yeah. So he ripped this game apart with good reason, because it was basically unfinished. It was like a joke of a game. It was a complete joke.
That was proud enough to charge it at a normal price or something like that.
Yeah. And he got the video taken down by the company. They put out a DMCA and took his video down. And he said, we gave you this for free. How dare you, whatever. It's not fair, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, long story short, he fought it. He didn't even need to fight that hard, but there was a big outcry, and he got the video reinstated.
And basically got a win for YouTubers out there.
Yes,
like
exactly.
us.
yeah.
And this is quite similar. Sorry to derail, but this is kind of similar to the H3 podcast that we did a couple of weeks ago, where they had a lawsuit where it also involved criticizing another channel.
Because there's things like fair use and using stuff for comedy. And it's all fine, basically.
Yeah. A lot of people are not getting that. Even the people, maybe TotalBiscuit's one was really tearing it apart to a point that it's not good advertising the more people who hear about it, because it's I'm not going to buy it now. But some of these stuff helps them. They should appreciate that, though.
Yeah. In fact, I've heard him say on the podcast before that, actually, I've heard him say about positive stuff. So I've heard him say, looking at the numbers of games that have been covered by big YouTubers, the coverage doesn't have much of an impact on sales.
Can you ever really? I don't think you can really get a good figure or percentage on how true that is. Personally,
exactly.
I know stuff around YouTubers who show gameplay. I guess developers or publishers of these games are annoyed. Sometimes even say, "Don't allow it," because now people will just watch it instead of buy it. But I've actually bought because of seeing something. So it can go either way. I don't think there's a way you can say
exactly
this is that.
Exactly. So he's got a few different kind of types of videos, a few different series. So he's got the WTF is series, which is his biggest one. And that is like he says.
What does WTF stand for?
What the flip?
Nice.
Family podcast, people.
Don't demonetize us, because we will take you to court.
Fair use of the F word.
Exactly.
So that's basically first impressions of videos. It's only he'll play 10 hours of the game before he even does these. So.
And he's done 300 of these, hasn't he?
Yeah, massive amount. They're his biggest series. Yeah. And it's basically, here's an intro to the game, here's what it is, here's how it plays.
This is how much it costs, this is how I feel about it.
Yeah, but it's kind of, he doesn't give a definitive, this is really good, this is really bad. Yeah. It's seems interesting. Exactly. If you like fighting games, you should buy this.
Exactly, which is actually close to my second point about how he's an activist against the YouTube formulas, is he doesn't give scores like a lot of reviewers do, a top 10.
In fact, he really disagrees with those, he said before.
Yeah. And this is really derailing, I know, but then there's another YouTuber called Angry Joe.
Yeah, Angry Joe.
And he is friends with TotalBiscuit. And now Angry Joe does reviews, much like TotalBiscuit, a bit more on the comedic side. And he gives scores at the end of the reviews. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but Angry Joe started to do that a bit less. And I don't know if that's because because he's been on his podcast as well, they've talked about it. And maybe it's kind of sinking in, maybe scores are not the right way to do it anymore. And, it's a good idea. Just give your opinion. Don't, rank it, because that score can easily change 3 months down the line. And some of these scores are based on, the price of the game. The price can go down.
It is useful. If you don't have the time to watch the whole thing.
You do want to get, a final answer. But,
But, yeah, I can see arguments both ways, to be fair. But his WTF is, I find the best, because it's literally just, here's a really good presentation of what this game actually is. Yeah. And then you can decide for yourself. Yeah. That's really all you need from reviews. Okay, what is it? What type of thing is it? And you know what you like or you don't like.
Exactly. So you mentioned before about how, he does 40-minute videos, and he encourages, or he's aware that people listen to it in the background. Question, do you think he likes the sound of his voice?
Oh boy, big time. This is in my notes for this episode.
Capitals.
Okay, so he does the one of his other series is the co-optional podcast that he does. Yeah. There's 3 of them, 3 regular people, and they'll get a guest on. And out of everyone,
you wouldn't even know there's a guest.
Exactly. TotalBiscuit talks way too much.
Ivan, can I
It's
speak
just a
now?
monologue. No, shut up, David. We don't want to listen
you're
to
not
you.
done. Sorry,
I'm done. I'm not done speaking.
After you, I'm sorry.
It's a monologue. Literally a monologue.
Yeah,
I mean, do you remember that one he did with Donkey?
Yeah, and I was really looking forward to that one.
Exactly.
Because he's one of our favourite YouTubers, which we haven't covered yet. But
he's hilarious as well, Donkey. And he came on the Corruptional podcast and was... it just didn't speak.
He didn't. And he's not too shy. Like, I'm not going to lie, he's not a very outspoken person.
Yeah.
But if you ask him questions, he'll say it.
Compare it to him on the H3 podcast.
Yeah.
He was chatting away.
Exactly.
You know, Ethan was asking him questions.
It's like I knew so much about him at the end of the day. But
exactly.
on that Corruptional one, no.
Of course, I'm like, wait, Donkey was on this podcast?
I literally, because normally I listen to podcasts, I don't know about you, like, on just the audio.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know if I was having an issue, so I actually went to watch it on YouTube.
Really?
Just to, like, see.
Well, like, Donkey must be muted.
Yeah, literally. And, like, I don't have the notes, like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Is there something I should know?
I can only hear Total Biscuit for a full-on 3 hours.
Is it a stereo thing? Or is it mono?
Yeah, stereo.
Or stereo. Like, I must have just, my left earphone's working, but the right one isn't. And then I watched it, and now you can see Donkey, because they did on Twitch, like Skype, that kind of thing where you can see their faces.
Yeah.
And Donkey is just sitting there like, oh
man, it's too much. It's too much.
He's got a good, like, I don't know about you, but like, this might sound stereotypical, but let's just say Americans like British speakers.
Well, that's what some people say, is that one of the big reasons he's become so popular is that his voice sounds really authoritative.
Yeah, if British people say the stupidest thing, it always sounds smart.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what's also taken him like pretty.
So how do we sound right now?
Yeah, so
I sound pretty smart to myself.
Hey, 2.2 subscribers in like a couple of days.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So he definitely loves the sound of his own voice too much. A lot of YouTubers are guilty of that, by the way.
And in fairness,
when you
sometimes you have to like be proud of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So he's got the WTF, the Corruptional podcast. He's got a relatively new series as well, which is basically, I will now talk about ...
Yeah.
And he basically will pick a big industry issue and
again give his opinion.
And just give his opinion for 40 minutes, an hour, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's literally it. And he's always very well informed and well read about these issues, and he talks well. You know, he's actually smart. He is smart, and he doesn't come up. He looks at both sides of the argument, and you know, it's a good balanced thing. And I'm not saying I always agree with him, because sometimes I don't. But you know, he's informative, which is good.
I gotta say, like, especially for reviewers, like there was an age once upon a time, which is just probably years ago, where a lot of video game reviewers, there was a sense of, are they being paid to say what they're saying? Like, if it's positive, you must have been paid to do this.
That still happens.
It does still happen, but it was like, there was definitely an error. I don't know if you know, I've lost his name. But he used to be like a very popular reviewer. He was Adam Sessler.
Adam Sessler. I recognize his name.
He's quite old. He's like 45 or something like that. He used to, back before YouTube, there used to be this TV show called X-Play. It was just like the number one show for like reviews in games till YouTube came along. Then
where was it? On TV?
Yeah, it was on TV.
Oh, no way.
And then, so then, you know, YouTube came along and YouTubers were doing it. And he was like a very well-known journalist in the industry. That long story short, he came across situations where he couldn't be himself because of just the community believes you are being paid to do this.
Right.
So when TotalBiscuit comes along, you get a different sense, because he is probably one of the most genuine, and like, he will tell you if he's being sponsored or not. Like, exactly, you can trust him a lot more than everyone else.
Exactly. He even now does, you know, he does like a full-on splash screen. Mm-hmm. This video is sponsored, whatever. But thing is, I think that's also partly because of a law change.
Yeah, but then that is the thing that, well, it's like really linking up to like, so that the three things that I think he's an activist for is he does that as well. So like a lot of his titles, he puts like in brackets strong language. Or,
does he?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Like he's really obeying rules that he doesn't have to. So it's like he's setting his own rule. But I feel stuff like this and like saying it's sponsored is really good. And I'm definitely for that. But I do feel like that cripples him sometimes because he's obeying it too much. You know what I mean?
You're going overboard with it. Like,
yeah. Like putting the strong language thing, very helpful, will never get taken down. But at the same time, he's now out of a bracket of videos that could get monetized just because, like I noticed in a Jake Paul video recently, they didn't censor one of Jake Paul's swear words.
Really?
But
it's a family channel.
I can't accept this.
I mean, the only thing...
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, he always blurs it out. I mean, blanks it out. But he's going to get away with it because it's just the one word. So, like, I'm sure if TotalBiscuit wasn't so hard on it,
I don't know. I'm looking through his list, and it's mostly... I think it's only on the podcast videos.
Puts it on.
And there's a lot of swearing in those. And not just swearing, but it's Jesse Cox mostly. But Jesse Cox always talks about some gross stuff, like sexual stuff.
So he has to literally mark it as an 8. But he could, I don't know. I just feel like...
Yeah, I get it.
The brackets thing is not a rule. Like, you can put like a over 18 thing in the settings afterwards. But I feel like he just goes overboard, and I appreciate it, and I want more of this. But I just hate the idea of the good guys losing.
Yeah, okay, fine. I got you. It is a bit much. Like, chill out, man. Yeah. Just put the 18 on or whatever.
Yeah.
So, on the Jake Paul thing, it's funny because the only time you see Jake Paul getting pissed off...
Right.
...is when somebody swears in his video.
Right, yeah, good point.
And he's like... Bro, stop swearing.
But he does swear a lot, though. I don't know, recently.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like he lets himself swear, but when the others swear, when his employees, in quotes, swear, he's like, bro, this is a family channel. Stop it, okay? Like, seriously.
Behave.
Stop. Remember when they were in New York and they were doing the New York accent, like, hey, I'm walking here. And they were swearing loads, and he was like, guys, seriously, like, stop it. That isn't cool.
Not cool, bro.
Hey, it's fair, though, because... If he starts getting demonetized for stuff, he's going to lose a lot of income.
And
he's a businessman.
Yeah, and he knows his audience. And like, if they're all under 18, you can't be making 18 videos. So,
exactly. You know. Okay, so the final that type of video that TB does is he... Actually, this is the newest series, and it's basically TotalBiscuit suggests trying ...
And are these games?
Yeah, so it's basically the latest game that he likes. So, for example, recently he did one that was recommending a game called Ruiner. I don't even know what it is.
So what's the difference between that and his WTF? He's just not drilling it? He's not...
To be honest, it's kind of similar. It feels a little bit like he's just trying to come up with new series ideas.
Sure. Which is fair enough.
The more series you have, the better you're going to do, basically, because someone will follow one type of series.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
I definitely do have that with a lot of YouTubers where they have loads of series like Rooster Teeth. They have so much going on.
Exactly.
It's almost too much. Yeah, so I actually select what I watch, and some of it I just don't care about.
Yeah, or you go to a playlist, something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I appreciate that.
So so it's based. Again, it is similar to WTF is, but it's more his opinion.
Right.
So WTF is really just this is what the game is. Yeah. This is much more. You should play this. If you're a fan of fighting games, you should play this. It's good,
and so on.
But to be honest, it's not hugely different. But,
Do you think? Because like in all our podcasts, we talk about formulas and shaking things up and stuff like that. Do you think he should do anything differently, or does it work?
So I'll tell you my biggest criticism of TotalBiscuit.
You're criticizing #1 UK whatever critic. How dare you?
It's not UK, it's worldwide, bro.
Worldwide.
It's worldwide.
YouTube's.
YouTube's biggest PC gaming. What
cynical
is it?
criticizing.
Cynical criticizing.
But yeah, what is it?
It's that he's just generally very, very negative. I get it. He plays a lot of games. He's a connoisseur. He likes what he likes. He's seen too much bad stuff.
Yeah, and that will always happen to anyone. Yeah. Like movie reviewers, it will happen.
Exactly, but it's tiring because you listen to the podcast and it's just him whining and bitching about games.
Which is
the whole
why
time.
number one questions people ask is like, do you just play games for leisure anymore? And he honestly says, no, it's business. And then that's what happens. It's crippling his happy center.
Exactly, yeah. You can't play games for fun anymore. You got to record it. And
unless it's like a phenomenally great. Until then, he does drill it.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, his nickname is the Cynical Brit.
Yeah.
So it's like his thing.
You get what you paid for.
But come on, man, just lighten up a bit. Just say whatever. It was fun.
It is really annoying. Like, I don't know how you are, but like,
it gets a bit tiring.
There's a difference between when you love something and somebody criticizes it. Mm-hmm. There's two people who can do that. There's one that will make you pissed off at that person, or another one where it's like, I still love it, but I appreciate what you said. Because his is so hard hitting, if you love a game and he tears it apart, that will hurt in comparison to like,
exactly.
I don't know if you know the YouTube channel Cinema Sins.
Yeah.
So like, they kind of like nitpick and like tear apart some of the movies. They've done it to like, Transformers 2, which I really like. Yeah. But hey, I appreciated what he brought out. And I still love the movie, and I respect his review.
Exactly.
Put TotalBiscuit doing that.
It's it just gets a bit depressing.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you got 40 minutes of this shit.
Jeez, I can go outside for it. I'm like wiping my forehead, like, oh boy.
You go back in for another 10 minutes.
Jesus, I can't take this, man. Like, oh boy. It's like, okay, you didn't like the game, I get it. Let's leave it alone. Like,
back it down.
Wait, I'm only halfway through? I've been watching for 20 minutes already.
I know.
Oh, jeez.
But it's good to have a critic out there, but man, it's hard to digest for
exactly, yeah. Okay, so let's get serious for a second.
Alright.
Big thing that's going on with TotalBiscuit right now is that he has cancer.
Yeah.
So it was actually back in like, I think 2014 where he was... Yeah, it's been a while. So he was diagnosed with cancer and, they said it was inoperable. They said it was terminal. You've got 2 years to live. Basically, I mean, I've got to really respect him for this at this point because he basically came out and told everyone about it and then actually did a load of stuff to try and kind of raise awareness and things. Yeah. He had bowel cancer, which is really avoidable if you catch it early. Yeah. But to catch it early, it involves getting a finger stuck up your ass. So, for obvious reasons, people don't just go out of their way to
and they recommend that at a very late age as like a generic, this is when you should get a prostate exam. So,
exactly, yeah.
Like, who would have known?
Exactly.
Gone out of their way to do it.
Exactly. So he did a bunch of stuff, made a bunch of videos like, whatever, if you are in your late 20s, just get it done. Just go to the doctors, get it done. It's 2 seconds, just get it done. Hey.
Should we, after this?
Let's go.
All right. Nice. You heard it here. I'm in. You heard it here.
Doctor's around the corner.
Is it really?
So, there actually is, yeah. Oh, okay. So, it's just good. Like, respect for that because you're creating awareness of a thing which, your audience probably typically isn't thinking about or worrying about or whatever.
And I really do appreciate this, and I'm sorry that it sounds like I'm like targeting people who generally want to raise awareness, but there's a difference between those who do it for their own publicity as well as money and sympathy kind of like views, should I say. But you could tell how generally he's just putting it out there for people's information.
Exactly. As in his way, he's trying to improve an area, like whatever. Yeah. So, yeah, he had it. They said it wasn't going to be fixed, but then it improved. Yeah. And they said, hey, actually, we might be able to cure this. And at the moment, he's still got it. It's a lot better than it was at one point.
Yeah, and we're obviously past the 2 years.
Yeah, but so he was on the H3 podcast recently and talked about it a bit. By the way, can I just say, respect to H3 podcast in general, actually. I mean, we had some criticisms of it in our H3 episodes.
Did,
but he does actually. They're not like the most experienced interviewers, but they actually get out some really questions good stuff.
You can't definitely get in a comment section.
Yeah, exactly.
If it was blocked or not, they do bring it out. But I know we were always going to cover this in the next week of a roundup of how we feel about YouTubers we've covered, and H3 respect.
Yeah. So he was talking about it, and he was just talking about how staying positive. Which is funny that we just said he's super negative all the time because he is. Yeah. But I mean, I guess staying positive about the cancer particularly makes sense. Fair enough. Yeah. It's just quite good. He's quite. I don't want to say inspirational because I don't want to get too overboard. But to some people, it probably is really inspirational, and it's really good to see that he's. Being so positive about it and being so strong about it, and it's good to see, and I think it is good just in general because awareness of this stuff is really important, and cancer especially is obviously really awful.
It's obviously not easy to say without having a list of examples, but I do know people who are in the limelight, and when they get stuff like this, they just completely stop. Which probably is sometimes a good idea. Okay, I'm just going to focus on the cancer. But
fair enough.
On him, he stayed true to what he loves. And
exactly. That's what he's all about. It's all about is making people aware of bad stuff going on. Games industry, sure, it's not really as serious. Sure. But it's good that he does all that stuff. So
and that's why I don't want to go too hard on his 2.2 million subscribers, but. Obviously, with all that stuff, you can notice his W2F is coming out a bit less frequent as year or two before.
In fact, that's part of the reason in general that he doesn't post as often. It's just he takes chemo and all that stuff, so he's just too tired to post that much. He's spoken about this as well. He said, I can't because I'm throwing up half the time, so I can't post every day.
Fair enough. You do what you can. And credit to him. So I know we've talked about his negativity a lot, but he's got a girlfriend?
Yeah, wife. Yeah. He's got kids as well. At least one.
What? No way.
Are you joking? Yeah, he's got kids.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's TotalBiscuit is also a huge, not only being a huge gamer, but he's also a huge board gamer as well. He loves board games. And I was just thinking that kid must have an awesome time. He's got access to any game.
What ages do you know?
I want to guess so TotalBiscuit himself is 33. The kid, I want to guess, is probably around 10.
And YouTube's number 2 critic?
He can't have he can't be 10 actually.
Yeah, sure. He's not playing games yet.
Yeah, he didn't have But still, when he I'm trying to find how old his kid is, but I can't find it. Anyway, his kid is going to have just a good time in general. Just any game, play it with his dad, play with board games.
I would subscribe to that channel.
Well, his kid,
TotalBiscuit and
plus kid
and Half Biscuit. Total and Half.
That's actually a really good name. You heard it here first, people. Half Biscuit. TotalBiscuit's kid.
If I get that channel, he'll pay me.
I'm going right now. I'm going to get it before you.
I wonder if anyone's taking that. But I would watch that. Plus, he would have an American accent, so it would be a weird conflict kind of thing.
Oh yeah, he would because he was born in America.
Yeah, and so that was the thing about the positive thing. His wife, she has a YouTube channel.
Yep. She plays games as well.
Yeah, exactly. Gemma Bain.
You know what? By the way, they met at a World of Warcraft event.
Really?
Yeah.
Event as
or maybe they
online.
met on World of Warcraft. No.
They saw face to face the first time. I see.
Yeah.
Oh,
pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. And she is I don't want to say the complete opposite, but she is a bubbly.
Really?
Very have you not heard her?
No.
So they've got some.
I've heard her on the podcast once. Maybe
I see. On his channel, I would out of all the videos this year, I would recommend him and his wife play Nidhogg 2.
Oh, okay.
And even if you don't like games, or you're just listening to us to find out what YouTuber is out there that's worth looking. That video is for everyone. Like, it's just the chemistry. It's nice to see like a husband and wife enjoying something together. And like the game's like a pretty simple attack, but her voice versus his, like they are just like, it's complete opposite, but it just works. She's just full of life.
I guess we know why they're together then.
And he doesn't criticize anything when he's with her. So it's that's the real John.
That's cute.
Is it John, by the way? I know you
It
said
is John, yeah.
Okay. We have to erase this whole podcast.
Yeah. Oh, that is cute. That's nice. Respect there.
Yeah. No, they are good together. And it's, I mean, not like we know all the YouTubers in the world, but, like H3, which we talked about, they're a really cool couple that work together. Same with, John.
It's nice to see.
Yeah, it's really nice to see.
Okay, that brings us to the end of this week's podcast. Next week, we have our season finale.
Ooh.
That's what we're saying.
Season
finale, episode 10 of the Hip Pause podcast, where we talk about a new YouTuber every week, introduce you to them. This finale episode is going to be a look back, a rewind, if you will.
Rewind, interesting. Why do you use that word?
No reason. And suggest you listen.
Yeah, covering all the YouTubers we've talked about, as well as, you know, what happened this year with YouTubers in general in YouTube Rewind. Why did I say that word as well?
I don't know, man.
I guess we'll have to find out next week.
Wow, the subtlety.
Cliffhanger,
the good stuff. All right, thanks for listening.
All right, see ya.